Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the George.Daniel podcast. I am your host, George.Daniel. And before we get to our lovely guest today, I do want to give a super shout out to our sponsor, Liquid Death. You can go get that at www.liquiddeath.com, or you can get that at any convenience store, most likely, 7-Elevens, Targets, and all that jazz. But yeah, Matt, how are we doing?
Good, bro. Busy day at work, but it's been chill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, now we kind of got a little session. We have our friends here now. And speaking of our friends, ladies and gentlemen, we have Wei and Sandra Main with us today, man. I'm excited for this one. We've had so many different times that we've played together, us booking you guys with Meraki and everything, but also just separately, you guys' journeys are so fucking tight. So just kind of tell us, or if you guys want to break down your guys' like beginnings and like how you guys got to like where you guys are now, for the people.
Do you want to go first?
Okay, I totally go first. So, Wei Sean, DJ's Weivy. A little bit of my background. I'll try and go through this super quick, just because this context is very helpful. So basically, when I was born and growing up like that, I moved around from being born in China, living in LA, Malaysia, Florida, Arkansas, and all that stuff, different stuff like that, and that's like within 18 years, whatnot. I think that has something to do with me liking to create events and bring people together and whatnot.
Right.
So after that, career started in the Air Force, 6 years in the Air Force. After I got out, I moved to the Bay Area, or I moved back to LA, and then I moved to the Bay Area. I have been there for like the last 9 years. So that was like 2014. And then I immediately was, into the rave scene. I was helping EDMSF, if you're familiar with that crew. It's a very old school crew. They throw events at like Ruby Sky and stuff like that.
Okay.
I helped them with their company, their promotion stuff, and then moved on and created my own brand, Wei Creative, in 2017, and that's when I also started DJing. At the same time, I was like throwing Renegades in SF under Rad Life or Radiant Life. Mm-hmm. So yeah, all that, everything just fell in line, and I still do that. Some other things that I do right now, I have an online radio show with Data Transmission, and it's called Wavecast on Data Transmission. Do twice a month, and it's 2 hours each. And
and you have some major artists on there, So like that's fucking sick. I've seen everyone go check that out. But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I try and use that time to bring in other guests, So the 2 shows in 1 month, which is 4 hours, only 1 hour of it is me. The other ones are either special headlining guests or just special homies that have been in the scene for the longest,
right?
And yeah, deserve
a look, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Yep. But yeah, that's what I do on the music side. My professional world, well, that's a little more complicated. Go for it.
So hello, everyone. I'm Sandra. Hello. Well, Sandra Main. So I'm from Manteca, so it's not too far from here. Came to SF for college. Fell in love. I always say I found the disco in San Francisco.
Okay.
Like that's literally so true. So I fell in love with house music. I was a big R&B rap girl before. And then I just I don't know, just me and the groove, just really we're super connected. Dove deep into the dance music scene. I actually was like a big dancer on the dance floors before I became like a DJ. And then it just everything just clicked. Ever since I was a little girl, I've always just loved music. Always just wanted to be like a secret pop star, and being a DJ, I'm a DJ. It allows me to be like a little DJ star, which is so fun. And shout out to you, because actually you're the one that booked me for my first official show. First official show. I remember I didn't bring my headphones.
Dude, I wanted to bring that up. Yeah, dude.
I didn't bring my headphones.
Yeah.
So
You reminded me.
We also live together with another DJ,
right.
Vic.
But I was such a baby. I think I'm still such a baby, but my heart is in the right place. And it just makes sense. Sometimes I'm oh my God, I shouldn't be a DJ, but then I'm no, I can't not be a DJ. And I don't know if you're going to air this, but when you say like you found your sound and like the podcast, like that's like your thing. Like I think that is so vital to like people's journeys. Is like sometimes you think you're gonna go one way, but then like life pivots and like you move with life and then you just like kind of go with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like me now. So I started DJing actually in like 2019. I bought like my little tractor, my little 4-channel tractor. I bought my 4-channel tractor because I didn't do enough research and I didn't realize that Pioneer was the standard.
Yeah.
And so afterwards I was like, fuck, like I should have got the freaking Pioneer, you know? But I got the tractor because the price point was like right. And I wanted to layer my tracks. Like I think like from the beginning, I've always wanted to be almost like a live artist when it came to layering, or it's a live artist layer. Kind of like, you know how you see the techno DJs, like the techno DJs really like layer their tracks in when they're DJing, which make like their art form is just like crazy. So I started off with that in like 2019 and would kind of dabble in it. I think I had like some structure, but not too much of a structure. And then COVID hit and I started hanging out with some homies who did like Renegades and stuff and kind of got back into the scene and started mixing and like they were like, hey, like, oh my God, like you want to DJ, like come DJ. And yeah, I think like that's kind of where it just started to kick off and started practicing on Pioneer. That was like a treat, kind of a learning curve because I had been
For sure.
DJing like other ways before. And yeah, and then I think like the rest is history. I mean, like I practice at home, still finding my sound as a DJ, but yeah, producing now.
All right.
That's
probably like the biggest step, right? It's like when you start DJing, it's not the DJing part. It's like making your own tracks, right? Even if it's just an edit or whatever, but it's like that's when it becomes like, oh shit, like reality, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm most afraid of. It's like personally, is like, which is why I don't produce, because then I'm like, oh shit, then this is real, right? Like I have to like really fucking do this and like even more than I would. I don't know that, you know, I don't know.
It's true.
Yeah, you definitely need to invest the time into it.
Yeah, and it's also kind of scary, you know, because it's also like like this. It's in like it's a release of who you are, right, to the world, and you just gotta like eat it, like once you put it out, which is scary, but also it's such a cool feeling. But yeah, you mentioned that you. What we were talking about earlier, right? And like kind of like trying to find your not even like your sound, but like your artistry. That's probably like the most difficult part. Like we're all creatives, but it's just like at the end of the day, like we're also like individual artists, right? In this world. So like for you guys, like have you guys started to find that artist of who you are, or have you already found that person? And can you elaborate?
I think for me, I've always been artistic, but I think as I get older, I'm 24, turning 25 next month. Hey.
Damn.
But
Birthday sets?
Birthday. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, so I think like just getting older and just feeling more confident. And I feel like I've definitely found myself because I've always expressed myself musically. Like I've always posted my silly little songs on the internet. And now like it's funny because now I can actually DJ my favorite songs and be that musical person, and it just feels so right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a slippery slope sometimes because sometimes I get booked for gigs, and not gonna lie, sometimes I suck at sets. Like sometimes I like am just like I fuck up. But I think it's just because like I'm just such an artist at my core, and I'm such a feely, like simpy person that if I'm not feeling it, like I fuck up, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get like
In
anxious in my head.
Dude,
oh,
I'm
yeah.
the same way,
I'm
dude.
an overthinker.
Dude, my
max.
10-15 set, that's exactly what happened. I had a whole little game plan. I was like, da, da, da. And then next thing you know, I got up there and I'm like, I'm at 10-15. And I'm just like, I like everything. Like
I've heard it.
like,
I think we talked about this.
Yeah, and
we
it's just
talked
like
about this.
fucking, I just like, yeah, try to like black out that moment. But yeah, I was just like, damn, dude, I'm hella disappointed. It was also my birthday set. And I was just like, fuck, dude, that sucks. It's such a fat L.
It happens.
Yeah. But it was definitely like a wake up call of me being like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't over prepare you know, and just like, you know, just like have your playlist and then vibe out, you know. But yeah, with you,
so I mean, obviously, like my brand's Weivy, my name is Wei Sean, so that was a little easy for me, right?
Right.
But as far as like since high school, I was already in music, you know, I was playing in bands and stuff like that. So I feel like that also helped me understand music and understand DJing. That first step was a lot easier.
Right.
Getting into producing was a lot easier. But that doesn't mean I didn't take like 3 years just to understand Ableton. It's like, okay, now I can just go in there and do whatever I want. Put ideas into
put pen to pad, right? Is that
right?
What is it called?
Pen to pad.
Pen
Getting
to
the
pad.
ideas
Pen
down,
to
laid out, So yeah, also like I call my brand is all wavy and stuff like that because like I know that people fuck up. You know, I fuck up all the time. It's just catching that and like, hey, I fucked up. What can I do to fix it? Stuff like that. But also like part of my brand is that just be yourself. You know, I like that's why I even when I DJ sometimes like I sometimes might not give a fuck and just put it in. And I'm like, oh fuck! If I fix it right away, hey, you know, just
right.
I don't care.
Yeah. No, I feel it. And
Wait,
also,
can I just say that he really is so true to his name? Like, if you see him on a dance floor, he does this dance where he just like stays and he like slowly does like a little wave. It's really great. One of my favorite dance moves he does. Like, it's really nice.
yeah,
very,
everyone,
very smooth.
everyone's just gonna be
Like
looking
butter.
at you like on the
I mean,
dance
he
floor. And
doesn't
I'm
do
just
it
like,
all
He's gonna fall.
He does it. Yeah, he's like everyone. Those that know
Yeah.
get it. They get
no,
it.
I feel it. Yeah. I went to Ivy Lab last weekend, and I love weird, like wompy bass music, you know. And like I have like an inner Wook in me, and like it was just so nice knowing that there wasn't like all the like house heads there, you know, like in the scene. So like I can just like actually like kind of let loose a little bit, and I was just like, yeah, I was tripping balls and shit, but like still it was hella fun, and it was just so fucking sick. And yeah, like I love those wompy ass things. That's someone who like I feel like found their artistry, right? Like someone like Ivy Lab, I think it was the guy's name was Oak. He had like a whole visual thing, and it was so fucking sick. And like, yeah, I was on mushrooms, but still, it was awesome as fuck to see. Like someone put an hour-long visual aspect to their sets, and it was like watching a movie with no word, like no like actual like dialogue. But yeah, it was sick. So like with you guys, okay, like you mentioned, we booked you for your first set, right? And then since then, it's been like fucking uphill. So like how, and that was for the Sadie Hawkins dance, I believe, right? And that was like so much fun. It was like a cute little idea and blah blah blah.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
But yeah, and then since then you've been I've seen you go from like the like kind of like tech housey vibe to it, but like now you're finding your disco, or you have your disco, and then you also have your techno side to it. So like kind of elaborate like how you've like felt comfortable enough to go do that.
Comfortable to make that switch,
Yeah,
or just like the journey?
to find the journey of finding yourself.
Yeah, so I think like like I said, like when I came to San Francisco, I fell in love with the dance music scene, and I loved house and techno. I really loved house, but I think back in the day during that time, like techno prevailed in San Francisco. Sure. I don't think tech house took reign until after COVID. I think COVID kind of like switched everything around. A lot of people moved away. People moved into the city. Like just like COVID was like a big change to the city. But I think before that, techno was king. And you would actually go to after hours, and you would actually hear techno, right? If I'm not wrong, like
yeah,
most of the
there's definitely techno after hours back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day, yeah, and so I think I always had that like deep love for techno, but I recently just discovered this like new trend. It's like trance techno. It's like very percussive-y, has very melodic elements. And I love techno, but like the thing with techno is like it's sometimes people say it's too dark, or like it's bad energy, or like negative. But it's like, I don't know, with the right techno and the techno I've been finding lately, and I've been finding like a lot of it that makes me feel really happy and energetic, but still has those techno roots. Yeah, I think it's just kind of like following that. And I've always loved techno. And I do love tech house and house still. But I just think I hear it so much everywhere that I'd like to hear other things. And that's one of the...
I think within the last like year, definitely I've seen the people who've been a part of it since like a little bit pre-COVID and then during COVID are like finding themselves, right? Like I really do see that like between everyone in the scene, and it's been really cool. But like with that, like is gonna create like, you know, like separate everyone a little bit better, right? You know, which is nice.
And it's like people are starting to find themselves even.
Yeah, it's good. Like I mean, even like some people like Vitamin 1K, right?
Dude, love them.
Dude, killing it, right?
Dude, like, can we just give them like an
dude,
applause?
and they're
Like,
they're your age, right? They're like 24, 25.
Don't even remind me. I gotta submit a mix for them.
Dude,
Jesus
they're
Christ.
fucking dude.
Oh,
They're
you're
so
follow.
sick.
Dude, I'm hella mad. Like I was
Yeah.
supposed to. Horror Berlin, the bathroom set. They just had a competition, and I didn't even release. I didn't submit a mix. Wei Sean told me, he's like, you better get on that.
Reminded you.
My roommate over here, he's like, you better get on that.
I mean, he's
And
not wrong.
I missed it. Damn it, Wei Sean. Shit.
But no,
But
like,
no, sorry.
that's
we can cut
that's
that. It's
but,
probably not important.
but no, that's
but
like
they're killing it.
No, they're fucking killing it, and like the what I like about them is that they like kind of did it on their own, right? They didn't like try and you know like. I don't like even like Adwire, right? Is he
Wyatt.
Wyatt like submitted a mix for we were doing like mix of the months, right? And he won. And then ever since then, I've just like seen his name pop up and blah blah blah, and then he's gone like looks with dials and all this stuff, and you know it's been like holy shit, dude. Like, it's just cool to see like people like fucking how they can blow up when they do discover their own like lane.
So yeah, so I think like obviously COVID had to do with it because like now like artists are like, oh hey, I really need to commit full on for my brand.
Yeah.
There's no like fucking around and you know just like. Because now a lot of artists are like, hey, I need to get paid, you know, there's obviously this economy and whatnot. Yeah, so I think, I mean, it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going back on that. I was actually spoke to Wyatt because I was actually at his Boy Harsher event. He did like a upstairs takeover, and he freaking. Do you guys know who?
At Public Works, right?
Yeah, at
Yeah,
Public
yeah,
Works.
yeah.
So Boy Harsher is like this synthy. I would say like dark wave.
They brought him from Europe, right?
I don't know. I think they're from. I think they're actually from LA.
Oh, okay.
Their Boy Harsher is actually a synth band. So they're a band first. It's a duo. I don't know if they're together or not, but they're. In-person chemistry is like top notch. But they did a DJ set, and it was his takeover Vitamin 1K, and we chatted for a few because I was like, he's been heavily on my mind. Like Vitamin 1K, I was like, dude, I want to submit a mix for them. Like I want to play for them. Like I love their vision and like everything that they're like doing. And I talked to him, and he's actually said that they've been together and this has been brewing for like 5 years, and it just started popping off.
My boy Fabian, he found like because they, I mean he like found his Instagram where he had all the old flyers, like the ideas of them, and then you see them like 2 years later, and you're like, holy shit, like calculated, you know, and like really did it right, you know. And now they're doing the Boiler Room, you know, at Midway. Like, what the fuck, dude?
No,
it's
killing
crazy. But yeah, like. With your story being that you were kind of like you moved around a lot, right? And then you stayed in Manteca for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, came to San Francisco.
Like it's cool to have like two completely different individuals who live together, but also like share the same exact goal. So like with that, do you like with your experience, how do you use that to like navigate? To be like to do what you want to do, you know.
How do I use like my background and like knowledge?
Yeah, like how do you think that your past experiences like helped you like make the decisions that you have made?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Right.
She's smirking because she knows what I'm thinking. But no, this is something like I've realized as I'm developing in my career as well, in a professional career and stuff. Like I've worked at a lot of high top notch companies, so I even sell myself to my manager. It's like, hey, the reason I'm good at what I do is because I've worked at these companies and I've done big things for them.
Right.
So I'm taking what works for their processes and applying it what I like and what works for me, and creating my own stuff, you know.
Right.
And it may be similar to a lot of what they've done, like those companies done, but it's also like with our take on it tailored for our purposes.
Exactly.
So yes, I definitely use that to help communicate within the household and just like you're basically stakeholder management. Right?
Yeah.
You're the same thing. You're building relationships with people and knowing how to communicate with them.
Right.
So can we talk about it?
If you want. Yeah.
Okay. So me.
This is a
We're,
world premiere.
And, what is it? Shameless plug?
Yeah, shameless plug. So, okay, me, Sandra, and Vic have come together to create a label,
Okay.
a record label.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, just because like me, I can play the whole spectrum, like house, techno, deep tech, stuff like that. But I tailored more to like the deep tech, not too hard techno, but like more deep tech, stuff like that, as well as like the housey, classic house and disco stuff. So and then she also like does that, but like has her own sector where she's like hard techno.
That's like kind of hard techno. See, that's like where the switch is because I don't like.
It's like
It's
club
not.
techno.
It's not.
It's like club. Like that's the way
It's
I
trance. So
describe it.
it's like so like there's
Because it's bouncy as fuck.
It's a trance.
right?
It's trance techno. So there's like this. So obviously, like Europe is like a little bit ahead of us overseas, and so like U.S. is behind because R&B and rap are the number one genre in America. So we're just a little behind. Like if you everywhere in the world, I would say people kind of look to us for our rap and R&B, and then we look elsewhere for trends because elsewhere is ahead of the game regarding that aspect. But I think it's like trance techno. Trance techno.
There's definitely a trancey element.
But it is kind of hard. But I do like the deep tech. But yeah, sorry, keep
Oh
going.
yeah. So and then Vic comes in with his like minimal tech and more tech housey tailored.
Yeah.
So it's great. Like we have people on for each. You know.
And I just think like we work well together. I mean, I think like the boys need a girl.
No, I think
keep them in
that's
check.
good. I think that's good.
And we're all
I was-
roommates, and like I kind of help them. I keep them in check a bit, and they keep me in check also.
So-
and it just makes sense because we're like a musical household.
Yeah.
Did we say that we're starting something?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting a label.
So actually, back to your actual original question. Yeah. So I do use a lot of those project management, stakeholder management skills.
Dude, that's crazy.
So I started this by creating a one pager with listed out our requirements, what each of us would bring to the table, like which each of us are good at, and how we can work together. And like,
Right.
we made this like requirement fucking document.
Good.
And we
Really
got
nice.
through
Yeah,
it.
I would say like, but no, like Wei Sean is completely resourceful. Yeah, just a good guy right here. Like,
Yeah.
we just give it up for Wei Sean. Good guy, like very caring guy. Truly, very caring, very
Means a lot.
well
That means
rounded.
a lot.
Very no, truly, and like the reason why we like live together is because I moved away. COVID kind of pushed people out. I wasn't going to be paying so much rent in San Francisco, and I could be at home living with
crazy.
family and being with family.
Right.
But during that time, oh my God, I was actually really depressed, like living in Manteca, because I feel like a piece of myself had died. Like I think like many people, like with events and everything, like I just feel like a part of myself was just not revived.
That community.
Yeah, that community and just that like, that sense of community, I guess, ultimately. And that's like one of the things that we want to bring with our brand is like community, or with our label is like community. But yeah, so like so when I was coming back into the city, it was like, oh my God, like I need roommates, like whatever. And things fell through, things fell together, and then now I live with Wei Sean. But it's actually like, it was great. Like I love Wei Sean.
Yeah,
He
that's
keeps me
crazy.
in
And
check.
since I also have a dog and she is a cat,
Yeah.
so like they get along.
Okay, so like I said earlier, you guys are kind of like completely different, right? But it's very like it's so funny to just have you guys like find each other, at the end point,
One more thing, we didn't mention the name of the label.
Should we mention it? You want to say it? I'll say it. It's called Immersive Rhythm Records.
Immersive with an E.
Immersive Rhythm Records. What do you think about that?
I like it.
Immersive Rhythm.
I like it.
Immersive Rhythm, yeah.
Yeah,
Immersive rhythm, yeah.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah, ER records.
Dude, I mean, no, I dig it. Like my thing with it is like it it doesn't tie you down to any certain sound.
Exactly.
You know, so it was just like, that's cool that like you guys already thought about that, you know. So yeah, fuck yeah. I like
back to your original, whatever you were saying.
Yeah, I was just wondering like how like to kind of tie everything together, how you guys like why you guys work so well is you mentioned work is the reason why you like use the things that you navigate, but with you, you're more of a creative person. I feel like, or you know, so like, how do like what like your past experiences, like how do you use that to navigate within the industry, I guess?
Yeah, I think like I don't know. I think it's just with my upbringing. I think like someone actually said this to me. Actually,
May I ask your ethnicity?
I'm Mexican Portuguese. So
Okay.
I guess so I'll kind of like tie that into it. But like my dad was really big into music growing up. My dad was like a little cholito. I used to be a lot more into my Spanish heritage. And yeah, my dad used to have like a lowrider and stuff, and we'd go cruising, and he'd always be bumping the bass, and we'd be like cruising. So, and that's why I was like really big into rap and R&B growing up. And so I think I always had like the groove and the sense of music in my body. Well, because like growing up, I used to listen to heavy bass.
Yeah.
So I think like I just grew up with like bass music and those vibes. So I think I got a lot of that in like Manteca, because it's like very like Latins who live there, kind of ghetto. Like I was raised a little bit ghetto. I have like some hood in me. I'm pretty whitewashed now. I'm pretty square these days. But so like my friend said to me one day, she's like, "Oh yeah, like you fit into so many boxes, like sometimes it's hard for you to connect." I was like, yeah, no, truly, I feel like sometimes I don't fit into boxes because sometimes I feel like a trendsetter. And I'm not saying that to be like egotistical, I'm just saying that because I've observed and I'm not afraid to take chances and kind of put myself out there. And I think I've always been that way. Like I've just always realized that I can put myself out there, but I've also always been super shy and reserved for reasons that I don't know. So yeah, I think it's just like, you know, just like not being afraid to like push the boundaries. And yeah, I think I've just always wanted to express myself creatively, and I've always been kind of afraid. But I kind of do, but then I don't. But now as I get older, I feel like I'm able to do that. And yeah, I just feel like that kind of ties it in. I don't know.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. So like, okay, with both of you guys, you like one, Meraki was fortunate enough to give you your first set, but also we had you guys come out and open up for the Sponges at the patio, and it was both of you guys. So like that for me, I'm just like, oh cool. I feel like I was a part of that, you know. Like I was like, hell yeah, dude. But like, dude, that's fucking so sick, and I'm so happy for you guys, and like, yeah.
I'm like happy for you though too, because I feel like you've like had your fair share in a lot of different things, and I feel like you definitely have pool, and like you have so many cool experiences, and you do a lot for the scene, like whether you know it or not, whether you reflect on it or not. But it's really nice to see you in this space, because I feel like you are a connector. I've actually been talking about this a lot in like my conversations with people, because I feel like we're just constantly networking and building relationships, but maybe we don't see that, or maybe we do see that. Maybe it's just something I'm just putting attention to. But I feel like, yeah, like you're a connector. Like that's one of your gifts, is like connecting people, and maybe you're just...
I really enjoy giving people their like first opportunities, whether it's like playing at a club or like blah, 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 like... their first show, you know, even with like you, Nina, and like Dewada, we had like her first like official show.
That's right.
So it was just like, dude, that's so fucking sick. And like I'm grateful to be part of a team that did that. But yeah, like I'm looking forward for when you guys are the ones giving people the first look, being like their first release and things like that. So are you guys excited for that? And like, are you guys like when can people start expecting some, you know, releases, if that?
So like I said, I mapped this out. I have a whole timeline.
Yeah.
So first release, first show. What it's looking like, it's gonna be looking for like our first release in September, and that's being very optimistic, with us maybe starting the scout songs by like 2 months before September. What's that? It's 7
July.
July. Yeah, that's that's so we can get ourselves set up.
Right. So like, okay, so like, how far along are you guys in the process? Because like, is there like, do you guys have, you guys need a distributor, you guys need a license, and blah 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 blah. How far along are you guys with this?
We're like figuring out. So I was
Because that's the hardest part.
I
right?
have that stuff already mapped out.
Right.
I've done self releases, and then I've also looked into all this stuff.
Because I think people don't talk about this part, right? People just like, I want to do something, and it's
Yeah.
like, cool, awesome, but
Which is why I say he's super resourceful. Like he's like, I think most of his background is project management, and he has that down to a
dude,
T.
that's fucking
very
tight,
organized,
you know?
very
Like,
organized, and pretty. Like I would say, he's pretty balanced in his arguing. Like sometimes when I get like a little too optimistic, he'll be like, okay, like settle down, like like. This is, and like, I
Right.
think it's a good balance. Like, so
Yeah.
he's very resourceful when it comes to that. So yeah, he's like pretty mapped it all out. And we talk about things. I think like when you say something, it's like, when you say something, it connects things. It's like my thing that I just said connected you to your next thought. And like everything just kind of works together.
Right, right.
So I feel like that's like what we encounter.
No, yeah, I feel like me and Christian or Jelly, he's you. He's like, why we're like, da, 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 and it's like, I'm like, all right, bud, all right, but like, all right, did we email the manager? What is the price? Is he even in town? Blah, 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 and like, yeah. And we all need the balance though, or because if it was me, like nothing would really get done, like I need someone to kind of be like that. Oh, how far along are we with this thing? Like, and then, yeah, like I need that.
Yeah. And so he's definitely like that. And then for me, I'm all about branding and like long-term vision. And I'm like, okay, if we're gonna do this, like let's think of it long-term. Like I want like a solid brand that we're gonna promote for a long time because it's supposed to be like our baby. It's gonna, if we want it to be fruitful, we have to think about like the thing,
Right?
like the branding and everything. So my role is like branding and stuff. His is like PM,
Like operations,
and
stuff like
then
that.
Vic right now is
also
with operations, kind of dealing with more on the events. We want to hold events down the road. But yeah, still a work in progress for sure.
Oh no, I'm really excited for you guys. September comes fast, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it comes fast.
We're meeting every week.
You
like,
guys live together. What the fuck?
But we're all busy.
meeting.
Yeah, we're all busy. That's why
I
we
feel
hate
it, I feel
everyone.
it,
This
I
is
feel
what we're
it.
talking about. This.
No, yeah, dude. Honestly, yeah, I have like 3 roommates myself, and like I don't see them. Everyone just like has their own lives and working and blah 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 and all this shit. So do you guys have speaking of things that are coming up, do you guys have any shows coming up this weekend or maybe?
Yeah, I have one 421.
Oh wait, we have one.
that.
Yeah, I hella
yeah.
forgot that I was also playing that.
Yes. Yeah. At Hawthorne?
Yeah, we're playing at Hawthorne. I think
Yes.
it's with.
Who are you going back to back with?
I'm going back to back with 888 Thieves. Shout out.
Okay.
And who are you going back to back with?
With Rob Rain.
Nice. Yeah, shout out to Housekeeping. They're putting on a really dope show for the community, So if you need guest lists, hit either of us up. Hit anyone who's a DJ on that, and I think we can still get you in. So yeah, it's it's gonna be a good ass time. I honestly forget who's playing in the main room, but he seems dope. And
Benny something.
yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, one more plug. I am playing the One and Only Festival in Mexico.
Oh, that's right.
The weekend after that.
Get your visas. Get your IDs out. Let's
27th.
go.
Get your
April
visa.
27th.
Get your passport.
Passports. There you go.
Everybody has a visa in Mexico. We all live in Mexico.
But the event will bus you to and from whatever city you are to the event. They'll take care of the whole event stuff and then bus you back home. It's a super
Damn,
dope.
dude, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. And so how long is there's a 3-day weekend?
Yeah, no. They'll bus you on Wednesday or Thursday, and then the party starts Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it's a 3-day party, and then Sunday they bus you back home.
Craziness. Damn, that's gonna be tight. Hell yeah, get some sun out there. Fucking, drink some fucking fruit or drink,
Some fruit.
Yeah, they have. I mean,
Or
well,
don't-
like agua
or don't
agua
eat it all,
fresca,
no.
but
Yeah, if you want
Agua
to get,
frescas are sick.
yeah, but yeah,
if anyone wants tickets, find my Linktree. Linktree.
it's gonna be in the
It'll be in
description.
chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but awesome time.
Yeah, dope. Hell yeah. And do you have any shows coming up?
Yes, I have a few. I have I'm playing a live stream in Sacramento. My first time in Sacramento. Lex.
Yeah.
Lex me up.
Yeah.
Shout out her. She's a babe. Love her. She works with you, isn't she?
Yeah,
She's like your sister.
She's Mama Bear.
She's like your sister. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
She's your sister, right? Meraki. Like
she's not my sister?
No, I know, but she's your sister company.
Company, yes.
Sister
Yeah.
company,
I was
right?
like, no, she's not my sister, but
Sister
like
company.
kind of.
Right? Is that like the right phrasing? Sister company? Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, I'm really
Like
excited.
literally the sister company, like all of them are females.
Literally.
It's fucking, yeah.
So I'm really excited
funny.
to connect up there and just kind of go new places. Like even coming here, we're in San Jose right now. Hey.
Shout out.
So it's really fun to just like travel and like do music things, and it's really nice. My whole life is just centered around music things. It's just such a beautiful place.
But it's kind of cool, right?
It's freaking
kind of
amazing.
fun. I was like thinking about like I was talking to Olivia about it, and I was like, it's kind of like corny to say out loud, but I'm like, it's so fun to be part of like the industry a little bit because it's like we're just hanging out with creatives is what we're doing, you know, and just like hanging out, you know, enjoying the shit that we all enjoy. But yeah, dude, that's sick. So you're going up to SAC. Do you have any other ones?
Yeah, so I have that live stream one. Catch the live stream. Hey, I'm playing techno, and I'm actually doing Charlotte DeWitt. 10:15. Yeah, that's really sick. I'll be in the basement, but it's still sick regardless.
Yeah, you're still on there.
Yeah, and then I think that's it right now. That's it right now.
Damn, that's crazy. And Charlotte DeWitt is the...
Oh, the 27th. 10:15. That's going to be a packed house.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's already sold out.
Yeah, probably.
Like, yeah. But do you know what time you're on?
Not yet. I don't know yet. We're still. It's still in the works. I still haven't got the email.
I would be terrified if it was like at the same time. I would be like,
but I think Charlotte DeWitt's going to be like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
like
and they usually go to like 4 anyways, right?
They do, I think.
Or 3?
Sometimes it depends.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah, because when I was there for Ivy Lab, they went until like 3, 4. We had to leave early for unrelated reasons. But yeah, dude, that's crazy. I love living out here, hanging out with everyone, and kind of like being able to pick everyone's brain a little bit. But yeah, dude, like with Wei, what was your favorite like moment that you were like, oh shit, I'm doing something? Like, do you have one of those, or was it like kind of always just like?
Honestly, I've been thinking about that recently, and honestly, it's because of the one festival booking, but
because that's like, a big deal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. In a different country too, like regardless of who's putting it on. Yeah. Like you're
so like I played festivals. You know, I've been played Deep Summit, which is another homie festival that was held in NorCal, and then I played Ikomomai in Hawaii with the Halcyon people, and then some other festival like California festivals. But like that in general is like, oh hey, I'm getting booked for festivals now. Like that is honestly the oh shit moment.
Dude, that's so crazy, cool, right? Because like one is just like, all right, maybe it was just a fluke, right? Yeah, and then right, you're like, oh, maybe whatever. And then the next one, you're like, okay,
So the Ono festival, and then I forgot Mioli's coming up with another festival,
right?
Which I'm on that in July. So like,
is that for their anniversary or
10? Yeah, it's a 10-year one.
Yeah. They're also another like couple, that I would love to have on. Like I met them once or twice. We had them on when House on Hate was House on Hate, and we did something at Milk Bar, and they were the headliners. And then also I met them at one of their after hours. And they're so fucking cute, they're so fucking cute, and like I want to like be able to like have them on here.
Yeah, they're good people. Yeah.
I'm also playing a festival too that same weekend, so we have some roommate competition. I'm playing
Star Vibes.
Star Vibes.
Oh yeah, up north, right?
Yeah, boys, it's like an hour and a half. It's like an hour and 20 minutes away from each other.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So if you want to go to both, catch both our sets.
Damn, that would be tight. That'd be sick if someone actually did that. Like that would be awesome. But what was your like aha moment? Like,
ooh, you're really good at tying it in. Wow, you're very, very with it. Me, I'd be like, as if you couldn't tell already, everyone. I'm a little, ooh. I think I'm not usually like this. Just kidding, I kind of am. But like, it's the yerba mate.
It's the yerba. Yeah. Also, yerba sponsor us, dude. I love that shit, dude. Also, yerba hit me up.
Yerba's freaking top. But I feel like it hasn't happened yet, but it's starting to. I feel it coming. I think my aha moment, I actually have had it recently. So I've been making music more consistently now, and my workflow is a lot more linear and it's structured. It's getting there. I have like a lot of song ideas, but I don't have a lot of music out. Like I don't have any finished ideas yet, but I'm starting to get like finished music, and that's like my aha moment. Like I've been wanting to do this for years now, and I'm doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
I'm doing it, and it's really nice. So I'll just wait for the next aha moment. But.
So for the both of you guys, like every step for me has seemed like so daunting when I first started, right? So with you being on festivals and you about to release music, and starting your guys' labels together, like how like have you guys processed the kind of like oh shit, dude, like when I first started, like all I had was a USB, you know? Do you ever think about those moments? Because I think about it all the time where I'm like, dude, I was in the man cave DJing with Christian off a laptop, you know? And now, you know, we're doing something else, like completely, you know? But yeah, do you guys ever think about that?
Yeah, I mean, like, well, not all the time, but it's just like every now and then it's like, wow. Like, yeah, like, because the more you learn, you're like, oh, hey, the more I need to do, you know?
I think so. I think like for me, what was the question again? Sorry, I kind of know, but
like from like when you first started your first show, right? You forgot your headphones, and then you still fucking ended up doing the show, and you still did the hour and did it well. And then going from that to like where you are now, being at like 10-15 with you know, you know, and like doing playing at Midway, playing.
Did I think I was gonna get here, or like how?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think yes. I think it was only a matter of time. I feel like my love and heart for the music is so king that it's just a matter of time for me.
Right.
And I think something that I'm going through a lot is I have like this weird dichotomy. Like I love attention and presence, but I'm still nurturing my stage presence because I'm actually super anxious and super shy and stuff. So it's just a matter of getting that under wraps. And I feel like that's a big thing that's been coming up for me a lot lately. It's just like, do I look good? Like sometimes like people post videos of me and I'm like, oh my God, that's a fucking terrible angle. Like I look like shit. I look like shit. Like, oh my God. So I think that's one of the things that I'm just like,
right.
Oof. But I'm getting over that because at the end of the day, like I really love the music and but yeah, I've come a long way and I still have a long way to go. But the journey is really fun. Like you said, like we get to connect and like be with creatives and like do cool things and like that's really cool and it's so fulfilling.
I mean, not to like name drop or anything, but like Lee Reynolds was at your guys' crib, you know, and we were all just kicking it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So it was just like, dude, like it's cool. It's fun to be part of this, you know. It's like those weird moments, and you're like, holy shit, you know. And Lee, we're in your DMs, dude. Like. We're gonna get them soon.
Also, the balance for me is just figuring out how to balance it all because I feel like at the end of the day, like I kind of am just like a little dweeb.
That's how I feel.
Like
dude.
I like to party, but I don't like to party that hard. Like I don't really like to party that hard. Like I just want to stay in my little cave and like make my music.
Yeah. I only mostly drink because I'm like socially awkward and I need that like, you know, little barrier. But yeah, outside of that, like.
But no, it's really cool that you can like connect with these people and like do these things.
Like a lot of our friends have good like releases that did well at major labels, right? And it's just like, dude, we know these people. We're fucking, you know, at the club with these people and like all this shit. And it's just like it's the same as like if one of our homies was a painter and they got into like a fancy gallery or whatever. You're like, oh shit, dude, like you're doing some shit.
So plus one, you know, it is a great thing you're doing. Obviously, like you're able to like bring other people's stories into light and just have people learn a little more.
Right. No, I appreciate that. And like, yeah, that's exactly what this is. This is mostly for the community, regardless of the community it is. So if you're like an artist or a rapper or DJ, producer, label heads, like that would be like like that's what this platform is for, and just to like kind of like break down like what you have going on and everything, because the people need to like would have more attachment with your faces on it, versus just a nice flyer, a good video, blah, blah, blah.
Truly.
But those are important also.
Definitely. Yeah, it's so nice to see you in this space, because I feel like it's very nice for you, and probably like such a treat for the both of you over there, Matt.
Definitely.
Do you listen to dance music too?
Yeah, I used to be like, I'm a lot older. I'm 35,
Okay.
so I got into like that whole scene.
I mean, I don't know who.
07.
I'm not. I mean, I'm 33.
Oh, okay, cool. So not that much older than you. then.
How old are you?
Yeah, so I got into like 07.
I'm 26.
26.
Like you guys are very
baby.
young.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
No, but like with Matt, he like the first time that I like really DJ'd in public was one of his birthday parties.
Yeah, definitely.
And like,
I feel like I've seen you around.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't been to really any parties recently now.
Yeah.
You look
I
familiar.
want to go out, but
You also look like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Like you look like what do you call what would that position be? Producer.
Producer, yeah.
Producer. So yeah, you look like
That's
a
a good
producer.
Producer extraordinaire.
That's what I wanted to do. I mean, I started my podcast as like a little project, and then he hit me up, and I was like, okay, this is where I want to be.
Yeah, dope. No,
So it's
it's
nice
it's
to
a
have
sick setup. I walked in, I was like geeked. I'm like, oh my god.
Do you guys have a favorite like music moment? Like regardless if you guys are playing it or like
A favorite music moment.
like your favorite, like did you go see like I don't know, like Kid Cudi one year or some shit? I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So I was in Arkansas. This is like 2013, 2012. I saw Food Fighters with what's that band? No. Ace of Spades. That song Ace of Spades. Ace of
You're
Spades.
asking the wrong guy.
Ace of Spades.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Here, I'm gonna look it up. You think?
See,
We got our
Fighters
own
is there.
producer over there.
Yeah.
That's
So
terrible to Google so far.
So yes, no. So it's just the Food Fighters and them. I think that was a really epic musical moment.
That was in Arkansas.
Yeah, they were playing Arkansas.
That's crazy. What were
Is
we
it
doing over there?
Motorhead.
Motorhead? Is it?
Motorhead. It's a song, Ace of Spades.
Yeah, Ace of Spades.
Motorhead.
Ace of Base, Ace of Spades.
Ace of
Ace of
Motorhead.
Spades. Yeah, Motorhead. Probably.
Final answer.
Yeah, it's a bunch of old white guys.
Aren't they all pretty much all?
The rock stuff.
Yeah. That's sick. I love when it's a different genre. Because yeah, most of my memories were like hip hop and R&B. But what were yours?
Like one that like my favorite performance or something like
Like
that.
what was your like? Oh shit! Like I would love to be the person doing
Oh,
that.
okay.
Like even if it was like seeing Britney Spears on TRL or
I
some
mean,
shit.
I don't even
like,
know. I don't know. I think like I don't know. I really love like Tori Kelly growing up. I love Nicki Minaj. That's back when I was a lot more like like hood. I'm not
Yeah.
hood anymore. I'm such a square. He's laughing. I used to be about that. Like,
Yeah, because
Hey, I had a hip hop.
like even my name, Sandra Main, kind of like goes. Actually, funny story about Sandra Main. Actually, so like Sandra Main was like in high school. Everybody was
Like
making their
Gucci Mane?
Instagrams. So everybody was like all the girls were like something baby. And at first I was Sandra Baby, and then I was like, I want to be different. Like I don't want to be like everybody else. So I put Sandra Main, like Gucci Mane, but I also had a lion mane, so it all kind of worked. So
Yeah.
I have like a lion mane now.
That's funny.
It's a very fitting brand. I think.
Yeah.
Very fitting, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to change my name, honestly.
If
But I
you
would
could,
say
what do you have like options?
Dude.
Don't say like one, but like
Dude.
you have an options.
I don't even want to talk about that because it's literally the bane of my existence.
We've had this conversation a few
It's the
times.
it's still
and
the bane of
and
my
I keep
existence.
telling her just to keep Sandra.
Yeah,
Main.
and I think I will, but I'm the bane of my existence. But like I would say maybe like Tori Kelly. Like when I saw Tori Kelly, like she always inspired me. She's an R&B artist. Do you know who Tori Kelly is? She's a fucking queen. And in high school, I had like blonde hair, and like she was kind of like my muse.
Yeah.
So I looked a lot, and like all my friends, like all my high school friends, were like, oh my god, Tori Kelly, that like boosted my ego. It's so cute. But yeah, I think like seeing Tori Kelly live, I saw her twice.
Where?
I saw her at the Regency Ballroom. I guess I only saw her once, but I saw her there. But I knew I couldn't be a pop star. Like I couldn't be a singer. And I do like to sing. That's like one of my things. I like to sing. Am I great? Not great, but I think I'm good enough with like auto-tune, which is like why I love dance music, because it allows me to auto-tune my voice and be like a pop star, but like a DJ pop star. So I will be writing my own lyrics and singing my own vocals and like using my own vocals on a lot of my tracks up in the upcoming stuff
Like
that I
Casmilio.
release. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like really exciting because I feel like I'm allowed to do that with dance music. But yeah, maybe Tori Kelly.
Yeah, that's sick. Hell yeah.
Another shameless plug. I love vocals, so like that's what I try to use my vocals as well. I do have 2 EPs out. Link below. Check them out.
Yeah. No.
Honestly, I forget what song. Like one of your latest releases was super sick too. I love like the dirty, sultry vocals, and it's like deep tech too, right? It's like that minimal-ish one.
Is that For the Love?
No, the other.
I have like 10 that's unreleased.
Where the girl's talking.
Oh,
the
like
one with
the Mad.
Mad.
It's probably Mad.
I think with Antonio.
Yeah.
With Antonio, that one. That's fire. Go check that
Mad
one.
or Pop Off.
Both of
those
them.
are fire,
Both of
yeah.
them. What about you? One of your.
Yeah. Do you have any production? Have you been playing with the DAW at all? Or?
Not at all. Not at all. I have like this whole. I want to do edits first for my first year. Is just do nothing but edits, and then build a following with my production on like those ideas, and then start doing stuff.
That's what I'm like starting to do too.
Yeah. Once again, I have like that marketing aspect of everything where like I really like the art of storytelling. So like I feel like people would gravitate like to be a part of something. In the early stages, right? So they can see you kind of like practicing, and then all of a sudden like put out your like, whether that's with comedy with your first comedy special, or with music your first EP or your first album, or if it's art or fashion your first line, and things like that. It's just like it's your first one, right? So like you have to like really
You have to nail it.
yeah. But yeah, like that's why I'm like super scared, because it's just like, well, like my style kind of changes a little bit, but also that could be my style, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm learning that that's okay.
Yeah, and like music has always been like evolving, right? Everyone's taste has always been evolving. So I think don't be afraid to release the stuff that you've been working on, because in a year or so when you go back, your style's gonna be different.
Right.
That's actually really true. I know a lot of friends. A close friend, he you have a lot of. I feel like you're your worst critic. You know, you're your worst critic, and there's stuff that you're working on now, and it's so different than what your old stuff was. But it's so like you should be releasing that too. You know,
right.
And this friend was like, I want to release more like underground stuff, but I have like more mainstream. And it was like actually very smart, like strategically wise. It's like, yeah, you kind of want to release both so that you can try to reach those fans of like the main stage, but then also like appeal to the underground and like, you know, like what you would probably play in a club. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I think we all face that dichotomy of like, I should release this.
Dude, like
but no, I
straight up, like I'm such a weirdo that I've already like the reason why I chose George.Daniel was because I know that I have like two sides of me where I'm like I am like this festival like bass head weird how like big like main stage shit, but at the same time I really do like this like underground scene. So it's just like that could be my like that's why I chose like that name where it's like I am these two people. But they're two different people.
You can get George or you can get Daniel.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even know. That's so cool. Is that your middle name?
My full name is, it's George.Daniel, but I wasn't going to use that. I was just going to, so I chose George.Daniel because it sounds like George Michael and like these other, you know.
So sick. I want to do something like that. So my name is Sandra Della Riva. And I've been telling people that, and like, dude, like you should change your name. That should be your stage name. And I love my name. Like I've always loved my name, but it's such a mouthful. And I just feel like it's not true to like what people know me as, like my whole last name, you know? And it's like, I kind of want to have a stage name. So I don't think I was going to do something like that, but I was thinking about doing something like a play on like Sandra De, kind of like Deborah DeLuca, but Sandra De Riva just doesn't sound right. And I feel like it doesn't look like me anymore. Like people know me as like Sandra Main.
Yeah. I like your name, but also I wouldn't be surprised if down the line you change it.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't
right?
I wouldn't be that shocked.
Okay, cool. I mean, that like right now I'm fine with where I'm at, but like when I release my first song, like maybe like that takes a little bit of heaviness out of my
Yeah,
heart. So
and I'm also saying that with like biasness because that's how I met you, you know. So it's like that's how I know you. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like now, like listening to you, I know how like creatively you change and like blah blah blah, and you grow. Is mostly the thing is like we're all growing, so we're all learning and we're all discovering new things. So like yeah, I wouldn't be shocked because like maybe I might change my name one day, you know.
no, yours is sick though. I feel like like I mean you think of like Carl Cox's and like the Carl Cox I can't think of anything else right
Kyle Watson.
now. Kyle Watson.
Yeah, like
all these
I
people
really
like
I really like that. Like you know.
yeah, I know like even like Watts. I mean, he was thinking about changing his name, and he was like thinking about changing his name to Trevor Watts, and I was like, dude, that's actually it sounds so good. Like can you picture yourself at like 40 years old? Like I'm gonna go see Trevor Watts. Like that
Yeah.
sounds so.
It sounds
I mean,
sick,
Watts
yeah.
sounds great too, but like I think like Trevor Watts just has like a nice like ring to it. It's like Frankie Knuckles, all the people who
Yeah.
like, the house heads, like they all had their names.
It just like that's the part that like sometimes I see like new artists and they have like some weird eclectic name that I honestly don't know how to pronounce because there's like exclamation points and ones and blah 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 and it's just like dude like just simplify it so like I can find you easier on Spotify.
that.
Yeah, I used to be Wei, WEI, but
How many ways are there in the world?
right.
Like there's a lot of you guys.
True. Yeah, so Weivy fitted.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah. With like choosing your guys' like artist name and everything, that did that come when you got your first set or did you have that planned out prior?
I mean, thought has gone into it definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the first thing that clicked for me that would make sense. Mm-hmm. And initially, I needed the way. It gave me like what do you call that? Not personality. It gave me
Like a brand, personality, true to yourself. I feel like.
yeah. Helps me put myself out there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh hey, that's Wei. That's me.
Right.
And then after that, doing that for a year or so. it's
Also like a
okay,
sense of reality. You know, that's why like with the like if you call me George, like I get it, but also like a lot of people call me just Daniel, where I'm like, okay, that's still my name, you know. So it's not that like me like this character that they know me as, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But sorry.
So Weivy was just a carryover of that, as well as my artistic brand, musical brand. Right. My tracks can go all the way from like one spectrum techno to house to disco and everything in between.
Right.
Like yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think we kind of touched base on it, but yeah, I think like it all started with like my Instagram handle, and I think it was spelt differently. Like it was like 3 A's in the main, and then I like shortened it when I started DJing because I was like for like, like flyer reasons, it's probably gonna be a lot easier to find me. Sandra main was taken, so I just added the underscore. But yeah, it kind of works. Like I have like this curly like wild hair.
Like with okay, so like we were talking to Olivia last episode, and like with her she has like exclamation points and all this other shit, and like the way that she has her Instagram is just fucking wild, right? And it's just like that's cool, but also I think she has a different outlook on like what she wants out of everything, which is totally fine. Because like with you, it seems like you want like longevity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Maybe. I guess I don't know.
Like you're thinking like it, though.
I mean, yeah, I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like I might have, I don't know. I just feel like I do have the sense of like creativity that one day it might pop off. So
I have that stupid little dreamer in me where it's just like,
off,
dude, I've been wanting this since I was like 6 years old, and I'm like, I can be that. I swear to God, I could.
If it pops off, yeah. But I also want to be like, if I'm gonna be this character, right? Because I'm a character. If I'm gonna be this character, I want to be this character for a long time. Like I don't want to be like, I don't know. Like I don't want to be like 40 years old and regretting it, or just being like, reflecting on that time of my life. Oh my God, I can't believe, like, even some of the stuff I'm saying on here, I'm like, I can't believe I said something.
I think
but I do. I think so because I actually do want to release music, and I do want to, and it's actually like true. Like it comes from my heart. Like it truly does. Like I'm such a dreamer, lover, girl, simp girl.
Yeah.
I was
mean,
actually
like,
gonna post a story today with him song, and I was gonna be like, "Certified simp for music." I'm such a fucking certified simp for music.
That's funny. So okay, you were
Are we all?
I know.
literally like this is what we're doing, you know.
I'm a simp for music.
But okay, so you saying being a simp for music right now. You started with R&B and hip hop and all that. So like, what was your first event where you were like, oh shit, like what is this? What was, like what? How did you discover house? I guess.
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I think I like was dating this boy at the time, and he took me to my first festival.
What was that?
Hard Summer. It was like Hard Summer 2017.
Okay, at the Speedway.
Yeah, at the Speedway.
Cool.
Oh no, at Glen Helen. That was the year it was at Glen Helen.
Yeah. I camped that year.
Yeah, I didn't camp that year, but we went with like his group of friends, and like they were all into like dubstep, and it was fun. Like dubstep's cool, love dubstep, but then like I just had so much more soul in my heart that like when I found the house stage, I was like
Pink Stage, shout out Pink Stage.
I was like, what is this world?
Yeah.
Which one of my friends?
What? No, not your friends.
Oh.
My ex-boyfriend.
Oh wait, your ex.
My ex. You're my ex-boyfriend. Everybody, Vaishon is actually my ex-boyfriend. No. So yeah. So then, and then I went, and then I was living in San Francisco at the time, and I started going to more shows. Actually, funny story. So after that experience, I was in San Francisco, and I started like getting into the dance music scene a lot heavily. And I followed Halcyon. I was like, Halcyon? What's Halcyon? Mm-hmm. And I started following their page, and they were giving away tattoos. And
oh my God.
He actually has a tattoo, and I get mad at him all the time.
You guys are real ones.
So there was this big like community thing, and I wasn't even 21 at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't want to use my fake ID, or I didn't have a fake ID at the time, or something like that. And I wanted to go and get the tattoo, but I didn't have any friends in the scene yet, and it was just kind of me. And I was gonna go by myself, but I was so scared and shy. I was like, no, and I regret it.
Do you remember the first person that like kind of like brought you into the scene?
What do you mean?
Like, for me, it was Christian. Christian like introduced me to everyone else. He had already gone to like Mad Decent Boat Party and all these things, and met everyone and like had these relations because he was like he's a year and a half older than me. So he was already going to these things. So then when I came along and was 21, I was able to meet all these people right away. So like, do you remember the first person who was like, "Oh, this is like who like you were with," and then like, "Oh, this is so and so," and then next thing you know, that so and so was like the bottle,
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I was kind of a dweeb. Like I was very like I don't know. I think like I had like a lot of like identity issues. I was like shy, like very outgoing, but also very shy to meet people just because I feel like I wasn't where I wanted to be at when I met people. Mm-hmm. But I would say just going to shows and connecting with people. I think people really like connected with me or saw me for my love of the music. Like before I used to go out and dance, like shamelessly dancing. I used to love and dance. Like I used to be the dancer on the dance floor, you know, and I'm young. I was young at the time, so I actually didn't care.
Right.
I don't even think I had a sense of a sense of like, oh my God, these people are watching me. Like they're probably talking about me dancing. And here I am just living my life, just so free spirit. Like I didn't care about what people were saying about me. So I think I connected with like Nate 08 was actually one of my first like friends. Mm-hmm. I even connected with like Boys House. Me and Boys House were friends for a bit. Still friends.
From Berkeley, right? Or they were from Berkeley.
Yeah. I would say like I used to go to like a lot of those shows. So just kind of going to shows and like connecting with people, just being a fan, like a little fangirl at the time. And like being friends, but never getting deeper in that sense, just because I was still shy and like still kind of getting out of the rap R&B scene, and a lot of my friends weren't really into that. So I don't really know. Like it just happened organically, and it's still like I don't know. I still don't know a lot of people. Like I still ain't shit. Like I ain't shit. Truly, I ain't shit.
I feel that. That's how I feel whenever I'm like reaching out for guests on the podcast. I'm like, I shouldn't be in your DMs. like, why am I hitting you up? But we're doing it for y'all. But yeah, do you have like a friend or anyone who was just like, oh, like this is my other homie, and then that other homie was like, whatever.
I mean, I got in the scene from the EDM SF. way back in EDMSF days, 2014, 15. And that was with Philip Adrian. But then even then, like after that, I was always just going to after hours. And then as being a DJ, you just, like the people is already like in the scene or whatnot.
Right.
And they'll want to get bookings and whatnot. And everything's just
It was like snowballed from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember your first like EDM event?
Actually, it's so I got out of the military in 2014. I was in Arkansas, and my drive back to LA, which is like a 20+ hour drive. It was on my first stop was 420 Fest because it was on the way.
Right.
Wait, in San Francisco?
No,
420 Fest?
no. It's in Cali, I believe. Yeah, in like NorCal, somewhere in NorCal. But it was a 420 Fest, and it was a rave, and yeah. But that was
your first. That was your first one, dude. Straight out the military. Let's go, dude. That's America, baby. Let's do it. Hell yeah.
I think that's about like. I mean, I've been to a rave in Arkansas, and that was like a hole in a wall warehouse.
Do you remember your first EDM event? Oh, it was with your boyfriend, right?
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah. Oh, damn, dude. Yeah, my first one was a festival also. So I think that's my outlook on everything. Yours is more like it's still kind of like a music festival, but it was like a more like an event because it was 420,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
so it was like a community, you know? We're in like festivals, yes, it's a community, but you're going with your group of like whatever and yeah, like that. I feel like the people who went to festivals first or versus like concerts or clubs have like different outlooks on what they think this music, like the scene is, if that makes sense.
Definitely, yeah.
And like, yeah, even just talking to like a few people, they were like, I see how like we're like, oh, we're both festival minded people. You know, we see the big stage, the lights. We want to feel the bass, not just hear it, but feel that shit through our chest. And like, yeah, like that's what gets like our dicks hard. You know, like
Essentially, yeah. Which is like funny that you say that because I feel like that's like pretty vital. Like I think like one thing I'm still learning is like like getting into the scene and just realizing there's so much more than just like plugging your USB in and playing. Like the people who are in it for the long run or the people who've been in it for quite some time, like they really notice like the intricacies of it. Like, excuse me, like they know that like a system is shitty. Like, you know, some people go as a bystander and they're like, oh my God, like the music's bumping. But the people putting on the event, like this sounds like shit. What is going on? You know, like where's the bass? Or like, you know, like why isn't it bumping? It's the highs are too high. Like the frequencies are like not good.
Right.
I feel like that's something that I've like learned throughout my years, well, even like the past few years, just like hanging out with people and like understanding all the experience that they have and kind of like giving the experience to me. But yeah, like some people just want to go for the party too. And some people don't really like care about anything else. Some people want to go for the community. They just want to go hang out with their friends. Some people are really there for the music. I feel like when I first entered, it was definitely like for the music first. And now I'm just kind of like learning the structure and kind of like being serious about that too.
I guess you don't have to answer this, but like with me personally, sometimes I feel kind of like I wish I never got into the music industry so I can still just enjoy the music, you know? And like that I have those internal like battles because it's like, yes, it's awesome that I know all these people and all this shit, but also why do I have to always constantly have to shake hands? Sometimes I just want to like get lost, you know, and like hang out and just dance, you know. Like I was like you. I'm a true like through and through like weird little dancer, and I can just have. That's why I love Wick shows because I can just go in there, put my hood on, and nobody knows who the fuck I am, you know, and just kind of like lose myself with the music for an hour, 3.
Truly,
you know?
I think that's been one of the things I've had to learn is like, but also I feel like it just depends. Like sometimes the music doesn't hit for me anymore. I'm also a big techno snob and I like what I like. So like, I mean, of course, like sometimes they'll play a song and I'm like, ooh, it just depends on what mood I'm in. I'm a Gemini, so you know, we have 2 sides. So like, I don't know. You don't know which one you're gonna get.
I feel like okay, we discussed.
Aren't you a Gemini?
No, I'm a Sagittarius.
That's right,
We discussed
that's
this
right.
last
That's right.
like last
Yeah, we were
episode.
talking about
Yeah, it was like Olivia's a Sagittarius also.
wow,
So it was just like it was at first like through and through. I was really nervous. Like, because I didn't know, it was also like a first female guest that I had no idea who the fuck she was, to be completely honest. So like, I was just like, oh shit, like I need to be respectful. First off, obviously, I'm going to be respectful regardless. But like, I just need to like make her feel comfortable. And I don't want her to feel like I'm trying to make her say anything that she didn't want to say. But like, yeah, like once we got into it and we were talking and she mentioned that she was a Sagittarius, it broke down all barriers and everything, because we were just all of a sudden like, oh, we can be our fiery selves now, you know? And it was just so funny to see like in the interview how that changed. But like, what's your sign?
Libra. Well, Virgo, Libra, cusp technically. But
Okay. I have no idea what this means.
Mostly Libra.
I don't know what, like, outside of like the
Yeah.
two-sided thing, I don't know anything else about your traits. And
You can go talk about your traits.
So like cusp, because I'm on the 24th of September, and some people argue that that's not a cusp, but I don't know, most calendars it ends at the 24th. Like the day
Right.
that happens.
so it depends on what hour you're at.
What day you are, I think.
Oh, just
But
the day?
but even then,
The cusp
that-
is like where it switches.
like you're half and half or something like that.
Something like that. Like it's like, so like, let's say like this is like this is like terrible analogy or example, but like Sagittarius are from like June 1st to like February 1st. So it's like the cutoff is like,
Sagittarius?
well, that's just like a terrible example. I don't know. I'm not that into astrology to where I know.
Yeah.
But like that's the cutoff. So
Okay.
it's like he's born on the day that one ends and one starts.
Right.
So that's
Oh, okay.
what
No,
that's
yeah,
what a
yeah,
cusp
yeah.
means. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a Sagittarius and I'm November 26th, and I'm like,
You're on the
whatever
cusp.
the fuck that means. I don't even know, dude. Honestly, it was so weird. The first time some chick was just like, let me do your thing, you know? And like, next thing you know, like, I'm like asking my mom for like, hey, what hour was I born? Like, all this shit. And like, just to figure it out. And it was just like the first time where I'm like, dude, you're working with the FBI. Like there has to be like some other reason why you need all this information. But yeah, no, I like the first time I started believing somewhat in all that was like this girl was just like, we were like high or whatever, and we were like at the beach, and she was like, oh, we were talking about the moon and how it like affects the ocean and how like impactful that is, and she's like, yeah, but we're also like 94% water.
Yeah.
How can you not see that it affects us as well? And I was like, fuck, dude. Like that was when I was like, all right, maybe you guys got something here, you know? Like there's some science to it for sure. But yeah, sorry, that was a weird ass tangent. Okay.
But he's a Libra. So
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like,
Yeah. So I'm mostly Libra.
Right.
I follow what like they say for Libra.
what's a Libra? Like, what's the sign for a Libra?
The scales,
Oh, okay.
balance.
Right. Oh, okay. I can see that actually. Hella.
Very,
he's
very
he's
meaningful.
an air sign.
Yeah,
He's an air sign too, so he's pretty talkative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has a good way of like navigating communication
That makes sense.
and like maybe like connecting people and like keeping them calm. Kind of fiery though too. Sometimes he's yelled at me before.
I mean, I think that just comes with emotion, right? And passion. It's
Yeah, well, passion for driving. I was veering too far, and he's like,
Oh, okay. You were driving?
driving.
Okay.
He
All right.
fucking
this is
gave
like
it to me. I was like, damn. I think I gave it right back. I was like, what the fuck?
That's crazy, though. I mean, I feel like
very
you guys
safe.
Do you
aren't.
remember that time?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like you guys aren't friends if there isn't like like moments like that, right?
100%.
You know.
That's tea.
Who was your guys' favorite like artist that you guys opened up for?
Favorite artist?
Like which one were you like, oh shit, am I doing this? I guess maybe Charlotte.
Probably Charlotte.
Yeah.
Probably Charlotte. Even Leighton Giordani. I opened up for Leighton Giordani. That was like, woo.
Where was that at?
That was at Halcyon.
Halcyon, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like just a couple months ago.
Right.
I was like so nervy too. So nervy.
Yeah.
I would say for me is opening for Rebuke at Halcyon as well.
Shout out Halcyon.
One of the first shows I played for Halcyon. Yeah, definitely shout out.
Halcyon has like the best sound system, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you always forget it, but those monitors, like this past time I was there, like you always forget how good the monitors sound until you're there.
Right.
And then that's when you're like, like the people that get it get it. But if you're like I mean, I hate to give this. No, I'm not. Okay, I hate to give it, but whatever. It's my experience. Like as a girl, I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm up here. But you don't really know the logistics and like everything that goes into running a show. And then you're there and you're just like, fuck, like this shit needs to sound a certain way. And like I always forget how good the monitors are supposed to sound until I play Halcyon. And I'm like, oh shit, like whoa, like this is how it's supposed to be. Like this is a proper club, like proper.
So you kind of touched base a little bit about like being a girl in the industry. Like how do you felt? Because I said this last time and I'm still seeing it now. Where it's just like there's like a 1-woman minimum on events now, right? Like their minimum needs to be 1 girl. And like how do you try to get your sets for the most part? Like do you reach out or do they reach out to you?
I think sometimes I used to reach out, but they would kind of reach out to me. I think...
Because at this point, yeah, they should be reaching out, right?
Yeah, I think it's like both. I think I've definitely been taking a step back towards like playing just because I feel like I need to preserve my energy too, and I'd rather be like saving my energy for other things. But yeah, it's like both. Like Vitamin 1K didn't reach out to me, but I reached out to them and I was like, hey, like I really love what you guys are doing. Like I want to be a part of it. Like I want to play for you guys. So it really just depends. Like if I really see your vision and but I know I have a lot of work to do and like I have to put in work too because it depends on who's looking for what at the time. Like I'm looking for them. They're not looking for anybody right now because they're so like they're doing so well right now that anybody that comes to them is like it's too much. Like they're going out and closing deals.
Well, they're really what I think they did really well as a collective is that they built the collective. Everyone on that squad now is someone, right? Whether it's Bonita, SF Cowboy, like blah blah blah. Like there's they're all their own personas now in that scene, especially. And now they're playing. Oh,
yeah. Sorry. Like, so my opinion is like as somebody that throws events and plays a lot of events, I do think females need to either reach out or at least be putting something out, like producing and putting something out.
Yeah, and that's another thing where like that's one thing that I like while talking with Olivia is like there's not a lot of females who are producing. I brought up Ampersand up as an example just because she is a major, like a major artist, but she doesn't get the looks the same way that other people get. And that could be, I mentioned last time where it could be like her choice where it's like, it doesn't make sense for me. And that also could be a factor.
I think that, but I think also she's honestly great. But yeah, I think it's all about like, if you're available or not. And I feel like that's something that like, I feel like some things I've struggled with in the past because there was a time where I wasn't really getting shows, but it's like you say yes to one, people remember you. You turn down one, people forget about you. So it's kind of like weird because you kind of have to constantly be playing for people to remember you, unless somebody's like, like it's just weird. It's just like it's a yeah.
Yeah, there was someone who said that like you're as good as your last performance.
That's true.
And like. Yeah, that like rang true, especially after like so many like kind of like blunders that I've had maybe. Or like, I mean, I'm like self-deprecating, but yeah, so like, yeah, so it was just like, once I heard that, I was like, all right, like I just need to do it more, So, yeah, like, I don't know. It's just like, it's hard being like so creative, but also so self-aware, mostly, which I think all three of us are. You are definitely way more balanced, but that also has its own difficulties, right? But also with us, we're just like so creative, and we're like, let's just fucking do it, Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I fail, and then what?
And then you fail.
Yeah, but and then next thing you know, that was your last performance that they noticed, right?
Dude, yeah. I mean, I've had like performances where they're like, oh my God, fucking Sandra fucked it up. I'm like, hey, baby, I wasn't in it, all right? I wasn't in it, baby. I was playing the wrong genre. Honestly, the character. You know what?
And shit.
Take me out of this thing.
That's hella funny. Yeah. But I guess, like, real quick, do you guys want to kind of shout out your guys' Instagrams where the people can find you, do all that?
Linktree, Weivy Wei Music, Weivy, Weivy Wei.
Sandra Main _ Instagram.
Cool. Is there an Instagram for the label yet?
No.
All
No,
right,
not yet,
but
yeah.
that's an exclusive. So you heard it here first at the George.Daniel podcast.
Immersive Rhythm Records.
Well, we will have an Instagram by the
Well,
time this
we're gonna
comes
have
out.
Some nice,
Right?
nice.
Actually, at least we really need to get the name. Actually, we should do it right now.
Oh, we do. We should. Huh? Well, you know what? Wait,
It'll be out before this.
Yeah.
Before you hear
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Say Immersive Rhythm
Immersive
Records.
Rhythm.
Immersive Rhythm Records. Funny story about that, actually. So, Wei Sean, so it was going to be Immersive with an I, Immersive Rhythm Records.
Right.
And it was supposed to be like acronym IRR. And then Wei Sean, one late night, he just got really inspired and he was like, let's change it to ERR. He goes, because our beats are going to put them in the ERR. They're going to get there. He's going to,
Put them in the
our
hospital.
beats are going to put them in the hospital. I said, Wei Sean, I'm all for it, but please let's not be that cheesy. I was like, Wei Sean.
This was inspired by another DJ friend as
I was like,
well.
we're not going to be that cheesy.
That's hella funny. But no, I thank you guys for coming out. This was really fun. I appreciate you guys driving down and everything. But it's also really cool to like listen to your guys' like thoughts on like everything. And like, I didn't know that you grew up in Manteca. I didn't know that like how well like minded you are, I guess, you know. And I'm excited to hear everything from the label, you guys personally, maybe some new tracks, some unreleases I heard during the interview. So yeah, I'm excited for that. But if you guys want to find me, you guys can find me at George.Daniel __. And you can find Meraki at Meraki Bay Area Meraki.Bay Area, and then MerakiSac.events for all the content out in Sacramento, which you have a live stream with. So make sure to check that out. And yeah, outside of that, peace.
Thank
I
you.
just love you all.